Hello, welcome to So Bad It's Good. So was that? It is So Bad It's Good, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, not yet. It either is. What is it called? This is our third episode right now, and we've got a doozy for them, haven't we?
Oh yes.
2012 Doomsday.
Mom, are you all right?
Oh, Susan, it's so good to see you.
Are you okay?
It's the apocalypse, Susan. It's the end of days.
Mom, you know I don't believe in that.
You must believe. You must.
It starts with this opening shot of Earth, which doesn't look too bad, actually.
No, it looks all right.
And then kind of cuts to a tracking shot down the Amazon.
Well,
or what we
it
assumed
just-
to be the Amazon.
It was the kind of shot where they realised they were able to pull it off, so they just thought, stuff it.
But it's essentially it's the opening credits of the movie are done over the top of this tracking shot, and the tracking shot runs for 2 minutes 15 seconds.
Yeah.
That tracking shot.
Which doesn't sound ridiculous, but it was enough for us all to sit there and go,
You really
"Oh
noticed
my god,
it.
come on!"
Yeah.
Yeah, they just paid a lot of money for a helicopter, and the producers obviously went, "You got to put all of that in there."
Yeah. I would say that this film, the best way to talk about it is that there are 4 different stories.
4 separate threads that kind of converge at the end to...
Well, we shall find out.
I have named all these sections.
Are you giving them their own little pet names?
So it's easier. So first of all, we've got Mexico, the cross.
That'd be Dr. Frank, wouldn't
It will be Dr. Frank.
How can it be possible?
I don't know.
I called
Dr.
him
Frank.
infidel scientist because he was proper.
He's a non-believer, isn't
Because
he?
he's a non-believer.
Is he?
This is a nice little reunion, but you couldn't have picked a worse possible time.
He's so manly.
He is a poorly acted Indiana Jones.
Also reminded me of the guy off Homes Under the Hammer.
I'll tell you what, I don't often say this, but
The sun will shine for 2 days. At the end of the second day, the sun will set.
So Dr. Trish Lane turns up,
What is she doing here?
Frank.
Yeah.
and he immediately goes,
We have a history.
We've got history.
By the time you found out that they were married or are still
married.
You still have it?
Of course I do.
Why would you put it on?
We were never divorced.
You never had time.
He did a Ross, didn't he? Did a
Yeah.
Ross from Friends and
And he
never
didn't-
bothered with the divorce.
I haven't been with anyone else.
By the time I found out that they were thinking, I'd completely forgotten about that interaction at the beginning.
Yeah, it didn't lead to anything. There was no point for it.
How far are we from Chichen Itza?
Dr. Ian Hunter. He's basically just someone that
Is unnecessary.
I think the only reason for him was to bring the wife into it.
Right.
And also, how bad, I guess Dr. Ian Hunter doesn't really know Frank very well to know that that was his ex-wife.
Raul, you all right?
One more person I want to mention in that Mexico the cross story. We've got Raul. Who was it? Who was he?
But these 4 stories happen within kind of this overarching, or this story arc of
Yeah.
there is a...
The world's going to pop.
The world, yeah. So Doomsday is happening. There are earthquakes happening,
Yeah.
freak weather events, all of which are very well rendered using, I assume, an iMac from the 90s. Basically, the world is coming to an end.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's
end
what's
of
going on
day.
around
That
them.
is-
So
yeah.
mentioning poor old Raul getting crushed by a falling rock, that was from an erupting volcano.
Yes.
I remember watching it thinking that he was the one who kick-started all the problems.
They've taken this cross and they hadn't found before, but now they all of a sudden just had to take it to Chichen Itza.
Computer estimates the carbon-14 to be dated somewhere between the years 300 and 680.
Well, what does that mean?
This proves that the European Christians were here long before Columbus.
They bring up about the Mayan calendar and how the Mayan calendar worked in cycles,
Yes.
and that the
Cycle's about to end.
We're at the end
the
of the
cycle
last
of
cycle.
the last cycle, which is utter bollocks.
Well, I mean, not,
Also, let's just get it out early. Christianity had absolutely nothing to do with the Mayan Empire. It just really irritated
just wanted
me.
to get that out. there.
I think you'll find that this movie proves you wrong, mate.
Also, the
Oh,
reason
hold on.
why the Mayan calendar ended when it did is because they just thought, oh, well, that'll do. That's enough.
Why anyone is that surprised that they did that when people who built computers in the 80s didn't bother putting the date beyond fucking 2000?
Yeah. Dr. Infidel Scientist,
Dr.
Frank. They do the carbon dating, and then he does his little bit quicker Googling on the translation.
The cross must be reunited with the Great Temple before the end of the long count calendar.
Well, you don't see him Google. You actually don't know what he's reading it from.
He's reading it from the script, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's the plot of the movie. He's basically reading a synopsis of the movie.
The second part of this is Mexico 2, The Dying Village.
Yeah.
This has Sarah. She is our missionary girl, and we see her. It looks like she's going on a jog to begin with.
I missed the whole fact that she was a missionary until right at the end when her dad says, "Oh, I've got a daughter in Mexico, and she's a missionary." When he's in the plane,
that's what gave it away.
I did not pick up at all why she was there. I don't know if that was me.
Yeah, that was you.
That was you.
I'm a missionary. I lived down in this village for 3 months. The last month, half the village has become ill. I've never seen anything like it.
It's said a lot.
Explicitly.
Said a lot.
It's called out.
This was another one that was above you, wasn't it? This film?
Yeah, a little bit.
She looks like at first that she's just going on a run.
Yeah.
It's really weird. And then all of a sudden
she's on a jog.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden she's like, I need a doctor. I need to find a doctor. The whole village has been sick for 2 weeks.
¿Dónde está el doctor?
El doctor está más adelante, una cuadra a la izquierda.
Gracias.
No, yeah, but she gets directions from random local man, who one of the best actors in the thing.
Yeah,
who
to be fair.
tells her in Spanish.
Really?
Yeah, random local man. He's
was he the random local man who ended up going with her?
No, that's Alex.
That's Alex.
Oh, is it?
Are you okay?
Alex is slightly pervy photographer man.
Yeah, Alex.
So she. No, she's
I
on.
don't say he's pervy.
Have you rewatched the bit where he first lays eyes on her?
Yeah, so he's eyeing her up.
He's taking photos. He's on like a balcony. She kind of jogs past below him, and he's just like that. Oh.
Yeah, but he's like,
and
she's so beautiful, I can't keep my eyes off her. I think that's a nice moment.
Yeah, I think that's nice until you start taking photos and zooming in, and then follow her.
Hey.
In years to come, they'll look back on those pictures and go, "Oh, that was a nice moment."
If humanity survives.
Well, he doesn't.
I'm Alex.
Alex, the photojournalist.
Photojournalist, not forgetting, a few years of med school behind him.
Oh, yeah, randomly.
Yeah.
Oh, I dropped out, but, you know, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Who are you?
I'm just a photojournalist.
That doesn't help me at all.
She's incredibly rude.
Very sharp.
Yeah.
But then saying that, she might have seen him taking pictures of her.
Yeah.
Look, I'm sorry if I seem rude. I've just been trying to find a doctor for 2 weeks. Thought maybe somebody could actually help.
It's okay.
I mean, to be fair, that's possible.
I mean, it's helpful,
possible.
seeing as she's looking for a doctor, has been for 2 weeks.
All right, look, if you want to help, you can.
Okay.
He's a non-believer as well.
He is a non-believer. We should add this. We have to make sure that we add who is a non-believer and a
probably
believer.
around this point, I guess, that you start to really see the believer, non-believer. They're setting up.
The last month, half the village has become ill. I've never seen anything like it.
There's a car coming. Car coming. Car. Look, I'm not a doctor, but I did a few years in med school, so I know a few things. I'll see what I can do for the kid.
She's very much like, well, it's better than nothing. Though.
To be fair,
she's kind of...
She spent 2 weeks looking for a doctor.
She spent 2 weeks running.
That's their story. They are going back to the village to find the people that are dying and help them. Her
Probably
missionaries.
the least interesting out of all of them, I'd say.
Am I going to feel bad for mocking this because I feel like I'm mocking all of religion?
Nah, fair game.
No,
You're putting yourself out there.
we're marking this as a form of entertainment. Religion? What's religion got to do with this? It's a Christian film.
Christian movie.
What the fuck's that supposed to mean?
It's just a story about faith.
What, because he fucked with the Christ statue? And fucked with Christ?
None of us have an issue with faith films as a thing.
This is the first faith film that I've ever seen, so I would say I do have an issue with faith
because
films,
of this,
but not because of faith.
This is not an attack on Christianity.
Our third story, we've got Baltimore, the U.S. Geological Center.
Oh my God.
same shot? Yeah. They used that well earlier, like right at the start.
They used the same shot of that woman 3 times in the same scene. I made a note that just said the Office of Scientific Exposition.
Seismic activity has increased exponentially over the last 24 hours, and that increase is growing steadily.
They established the Earth's axis has moved and the planet is going to stop spinning.
Caused by there is an alignment of the planets.
Oh, with a black
and
hole.
they're aligning with the black hole at the center of our galaxy.
We've run the calculations, and there's no way that the gravitational force can significantly impact this planet.
You guys weren't here, I don't think. Still be watching this.
They were really bad acting.
Yeah.
Fortunate they weren't in it.
But he basically
they got
says,
pulled in at last
Oh yeah,
minute.
yeah. I mean, I
just
think
talk on this phone, make it look interesting.
I don't know what's causing it, but I tell you, by all our calculations, this theory is the only one that makes any sense.
there's been no theory discussed.
No, there
but
wasn't.
It's the best theory we've got, so that's what's happening.
That the rotation is moving towards a complete stop. I've input all the major fault areas, and I've programmed the artificial intelligence to accurately move the Earth's tectonic plates.
Lloyd, who's our lead in this area?
Chief geologist.
Is also worth mentioning. He is the father of Sarah.
That doesn't help me at all.
Lloyd acts like he turned up on set and they put the script in front of him and he read from it.
See, the red indicates seismic activity. The blue and the green areas are weather conditions. This is 12 hours.
It's like they said, oh, just read it, it'll be fine. And he's reading it and he's like, this doesn't sound right, but if I just get through it, we're done.
He was there for a payday.
Chipping away
at this time, weren't they?
Detailed model.
Just steaming through it.
Nothing's happening. You just constantly being told it's coming.
And then our final part of the equation here, with the fourth part of the story, is California.
San Diego.
The nurse.
She was paramedic.
The cop said he had a green card.
Was it Linda or something?
It's
Susan.
Susan.
I know it was
Please
something
don't
in
guess.
somewhere in that
Don't
ballpark.
We're introduced to her at first, and she's scribbling.
It's a cross on a temple.
It's a cross
on a Mayan temple.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's literally that. And
it's the missing link.
But she doesn't know what it means.
Look, Susan. It's the pyramid from your dreams.
In Chichen Itza, we're already seeing precipitation.
Yeah, we find out from the mother that she's been drawing it forever.
When you were little, you used to tell me about dreams of a great big pyramid. You drew pictures of it. I did? You don't remember?
Oh, and then she sees it on the dying man's arm as a tattoo.
Yeah, yes. she's then at work.
Yeah, so she's at work as a paramedic. You know what though? Before she does that, she gets a phone call.
Completely nonchalant. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hello? Okay.
We need you in, Susan. It's all happening.
Okay.
She throws the piece of paper and there's a load of pieces of paper. Like,
yeah,
it
suggests that what she does when she gets home is she just sits and scribbles on
crosses
on
in front of
temples.
Yeah, and then just goes
and then just does it again.
But what she is she's questioning her faith.
No, she's not questioning her faith because she's established as not having faith. No, she's established as not being a woman of faith.
Yeah.
Okay, she's questioning that faith in her lack of faith. They go to a call.
Yes.
The guy dies. He doesn't want to move his eye hand for some reason.
Mr. Martinez, you have to separate your hands.
Move your hands.
What is he saying?
He's saying the Lord's Prayer.
Listen to me. You have to move your hands. Please.
They're trying to pull his arm away
to
get to the wound, but he doesn't want to. And then she notices the tattoo on his arm.
Which is the same.
The exact drawing.
Same. Almost like she's drawn it herself on his arm. He dies.
No pulse.
They drive off, and then she starts saying about, we could have saved him. We couldn't save him. And then the paramedic bloke just starts going on about how, everything happens for a reason, which is not what you want to hear from a paramedic. Don't worry, you're dying, but it's for a reason.
This is the end, Susan. And those who don't repent, they'll perish.
Oh, the mum. She was my favourite. So Susan goes to her, and then they have a conversation about all the crazy stuff is happening. And then
the mum says it's
crazy
supposed to be happening.
Because the reason why I'm saying crazy lady is because she just has this weird look on her face. Like we said, it's just this sort of slightly maniacal look on her face. Like, oh yes, the bodies are piling higher. It's really odd.
I saw a man with a tattoo like that today. I couldn't save him. Maybe God is trying to show you something.
And that's when she gets the sense of, I must go to Chichen Itza.
The Mayan temple. That has nothing to do with Christianity.
That's the start of their stories. There are four journeys as they begin. Hold it together. So let's go back to Frank, shall we?
Oh, he is awful.
They get in a car. Their journey is now... He after his little bit of science on the Google...
The cross must be reunited with the great temple.
We've all got to go there. Let's all get in the Jeep. Let's go. And that is Dr. Ian Hunter, Dr. Frank, and Dr. Tricia Lane. They all go. There's lots of funny things that happen on this journey, such as...
Is it?
No.
Yeah, oh, no, well...
I was about to say, what did I miss? Because I don't remember anything of note really happening on their journey until the ground cracks up in front of them.
Frank, watch out!
He reverses straight back into a tree.
Wasn't there when he was going forwards?
They will jump out of the car
and leg it.
He starts to fall into the hole.
Yeah.
Trisha grabs the cross
Yeah.
and is laying on the sort of the precipice of this this
hole,
chasm.
Drop.
Then Dr. Frank leans over.
Good luck!
Oh, they went for it though. They didn't shy away from it.
Yeah.
And then obviously that's his Christian sacrifice moment.
And he goes.
He falls in.
He is CGI'd.
No,
out of that.
it's the greenest of green screens, I think, is what that is. They've cut him out and put him on a background and gone...
Yeah, it does look like that.
Then we've got a lovely moment with Dr. Frank and Trisha.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. He knew what he was doing.
We could have saved him.
No, we couldn't have. We would have all died in that hole, Trish.
Oh, vomit-inducing.
It was at this point in this film that I thought this was a parody. I was convinced it had to be.
This has got to be a piss take, innit?
It basically, the camera in dramatic motion spins round for 1 minute and 20 seconds, was it?
38:44 to 40:04.
So a minute and a
Something like
half,
that.
this camera spins round and round.
We're still here. You know, maybe this is a gift. You know, maybe this is a chance for a new beginning.
I don't know what to do now. I don't know where to go.
Yes, you do.
There's no way this film is legitimately real. It's not. It's not. No, it's not. I promise.
And then poor old Trisha.
When I jumped from the Jeep, I hit my back on the door of the car.
She succumbs to her wounds.
One, two, three.
She's dead.
She dead?
Yeah, they killed her. Why did she die? You know, just natural causes.
Because she hurt her back when she jumped out of the car.
Oh, she bled out.
She has been the battling one against this cross. She constantly brings up about the prophecy being silly.
The prophecy? It's a myth, Frank. A legend.
No, it's not a myth.
Also a terrible actress.
When we first started dating, you told me I was your greatest discovery.
Oh, no.
I kind of hope English isn't her first language, just so you could excuse it slightly.
French.
Was she French?
Well, she had a French accent. I did first 6 or 7 lines she said in that tent. Didn't
No
get 'em.
idea.
No idea what she was talking about.
Well, maybe you should, be more cultured.
Frank, no matter what happens, you gotta promise me you get this cross to the pyramid.
In her dying wish, it's please get this cross to the thing. There's no...
Because otherwise she's dying for nothing. I'd back a shit horse if I... if I was dying for the
only
bloody
choice
thing.
I had.
Yeah.
Is that what you think happened?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe-
otherwise this was fucking wasted time and I'd
Maybe
just
it's her
die for
faith
nothing.
in him.
Well,
So-
they've pretty much gotten to the temple by this point.
At that point, Frank is at the temple. maze.
It's just a square hole, and he puts end of the cross in it and opens it.
And then beautiful CGI.
Could have done it with a chair leg.
Yeah, he could have done it with anything. Sarah and Alex, they first of all, before they get to the village, they go to a river.
They're dead fishes.
They're CGI fishes.
No, I think they're plastic.
It's like plastic floating in the river
They're
fish.
plastic.
No, I think
they're
they're
CGI.
CGI.
Not all of them.
Just three.
Just trotted
Three
around.
of them. They had a shitload, but just wanted to have 3 more.
Hello?
So then they get to the village and everyone's disappeared?
Yes.
Yeah.
I assumed they had ascended because she was a missionary and she had done her job so well that they had been taken.
Maybe.
Wakana. Okay.
They've ascended and all gone up to heaven.
Yeah.
Then what did the poor bloke who directs them up the hill to the pregnant lady, what did he do wrong?
Clearly he didn't believe enough. He used to masturbate too much, I reckon.
They find out there's another sickly lady, just one sickly lady on her own.
Yep.
Pregnant.
They think she's sick and they get there and she's pregnant.
And she's pregnant.
I talked to God.
I talked to a goat. I talked to God.
They're kind of implying that there is no baby daddy at all.
Yeah.
No, don't just kind of imply that.
It's that's what they say.
Why he make baby?
God spoke
to her and God gave her a baby.
She is Mary too.
Yeah.
JC the second.
I don't understand. I'm not a doctor. This woman looks like she could give birth any minute. I don't know how to help her.
But you were on your way to see a sick person.
No, but she was bringing Alex. So Alex is the one that needs to deal with it.
So why does she then call out that she doesn't know what to do? It should be him saying, I don't know what to do.
The film's
I'm
about
not a
her.
midwife.
It's about her journey.
Yeah.
She wants to save everyone,
Christian
but she
journey.
can't because she's not medically trained.
She can't save anyone.
She's useless. She is pretty useless.
No, she's not. She's integral to this story because she is the one.
She gets the pregnant woman there.
Yeah,
really.
That's. You wouldn't say that about little donkey.
I mean, you could have had it. You could have had any little donkey.
She needs medical assistance.
No, we gotta take her to the temple.
She says, I need help. And Alex goes, we need to get her to a hospital. And she goes, no, we're taking her to the temple.
Sarah, are you crazy? Look, we need to get her help. You want to drive across the country to some Mayan temple with a woman who's about to give birth just because some village boy told you so?
If presented with a pregnant woman who's about to go into labour and a lady who keeps telling we need to take that lady to a ruined temple of a lost,
an ancient
civilization. Not even ancient. I would protest quite vigorously that would be the worst thing to do.
Yeah, and you'd probably be like, well, it's my car, so...
Yeah, like, no, you have officially lost your marbles now. We're off to the hospital.
So off to the temple they go.
It's hailstones.
Massive hailstones.
Did he get...
Yeah.
Hailstone the size of a baseball
in the chest.
Through his chest.
It is
through the chest.
Pretty rough.
Yeah, he gets through the windscreen in his chest. And then she prays. She prays for him.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, at the end.
Lord, we realize that we're sinners. Will you please forgive us? We know you sent your son, Jesus Christ, to die for us. We believe. This is Alex. He didn't believe, but he sees you now.
Sarah, throughout this whole thing, she regularly gets phone calls from Lloyd, her father.
Oh, they are special.
What? Honey, you're breaking up.
Dad, can you hear me?
Sarah!
Dad?
Sarah!
Dad!
Listen, I'm coming to Chichen Itza.
Dad! Dad, I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Honey?
10 hours. Phone lines are still up. People are just hanging out. Not normal.
After Alex gets a
hailstone
in the chest, we don't see the scene, and I'm a bit upset we don't see it. But she lifts the body either across into the passenger seat, or pulls him out,
or just pushes him out the car.
No, he's in the seat. He's in the passenger seat.
Yeah, we
drives,
mentioned it at the time. Like, how on earth did she get him in there?
She drives to the temple with him in the passenger seat like this, dead on the side. I don't know what I would have done in that circumstance, to be honest. I don't know whether you get out and bury him because you haven't got time.
I wouldn't bury him. I would just push him out.
Would you literally
push him out?
Well, I mean, they met each other, what? Few hours earlier?
Yeah, he's only given her his life.
Yeah,
well, I know, and what a sacrifice it was.
Car. And that's it. They're in their journey, and they then reach the temple. Lloyd, he's made several phone calls to his daughter,
telling her to get away.
Get out as soon as you can. I love you, and I'll see you in a couple of days.
And she says no.
Yeah.
Dad, if you can hear me, I can't explain it, but I have to get to the temple at Chichen Itza.
What?
So she goes to the temple. So he says, don't worry, I'm coming.
Lloyd's decided he's going to, even though he's told his daughter that there is a massive storm approaching the Yucatan Peninsula, he decides to board a tiny plane.
Yes.
And fly with his pilot friend.
I've never seen anything like this. Is it safe to fly? She'll make it. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Because as the world is ending, obviously it would still be quite easy to charter a small plane to fly you from.
So
Baltimore
this is where
Yucatan Peninsula.
I will use your argument against you.
Oh, really?
And say that Jim, in my eyes, was an angel.
This is it.
Aren't you coming?
This is your journey. I was just supposed to get you this far. Trust in God and pray to Him.
And then says to him, there's a car with keys in it. It's all set up for you.
It's all been taken care of.
What?
And then as he turns around, Jim's gone.
Jim has gone.
And now, obviously, Jim has ascended at this point. But I'm willing
but has
to...
he? Or is he just flown away?
I reckon he's just hiding.
Lloyd, who, after getting the car out of nowhere, travels along the road and he runs into good old Susan.
Are you okay?
This is crazy. My mother, she just disappeared. She just completely disappeared.
Are you all right?
He does run into Susan because before we get to that point, she is still travelling with Crazy Lady Mother.
Yes. I think we should stop calling her Crazy Lady and maybe just call her...
crazy in those eyes.
Yep.
We have technology, medicine, but something as beautiful and perfect as a newborn child, that can only come from God.
That is actually very much explainable. It's the
is,
miracle
in fact,
of
we
life.
Can replicate it in lab environment.
Yes, yeah.
The mother starts saying about, oh, you only see the bad in life because she's a paramedic and she's all the
which
death
I think
and blah,
that's
blah, blah,
understandable.
blah, blah. And then the car breaks down. She goes to check it out. Mother's fucked off to heaven.
Mom, it looks like we're going to have to walk.
I would say, and I know we've crapped on her acting, but I would say that Susan's acting in this scene, considering who she's up against.
I watched it quite recently. It's atrocious.
Terrible.
Right. Well, I was going to say, for what she's been given and for how it's been directed, I think this is probably the best acted scene in the whole lot.
Mom? What's happening?
Susan, she prays. She's after a sign.
Yeah. And who should turn up?
Lloyd in his mystery car.
Like,
he almost doesn't stop. He almost drives past.
He does.
Where are you headed?
Chichen Itza.
Chichen Itza.
So
what do you know?
Who are you?
What are you doing here?
Please, she's about to give birth. We're supposed to come here. Please help us. Sarah!
At this point, everyone has made their journey to the temple.
And they all
non-Christian temple.
They all converge.
Is that you? Dad? What are you doing
And then everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's you! Haha,
Yeah.
it's you!"
Yeah,
it's
oh,
you.
Dad, you're here. Obviously, you abandoned your science and just flew in the tiny plane and came here.
And then is it too throwaway to just say?
And then it just ends.
Then
the baby's born and it ends.
She has the baby, and then the film is over.
They have no confirmation that what they've done worked. They haven't just wasted the end of their lives.
For it to all melt down. Yeah, we don't know that the light that they're seeing on their face is not
because
just
it's the sun coming towards them.
It ends as disappointingly as we just delivered it to you. It just the baby's born. They did the right thing. The end.
I like the song at the end with the end credits.
Yeah, do you know, when I rewatched it, it's not a bad song.
That is by a guy called, I think it was Peter Richekasic. I don't know. I'll put it down here.
In the credits, it lists his MySpace page.
It does. I constantly thought this film was a parody.
You did.
First of all, the very first scene, near enough with Dr. Frank, there's a panel light. Now, the panel light because actually I never see him being lit from there. So the panel light could just be they've got
Lighting
it for science
for
things.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right,
so
okay.
I'm going to let that slide. I saw it, I laughed, but I can justify it.
You can't justify it, but you feel like it could be justified if push came to shove.
Yeah. Obviously, the famous one we saw, which was the track shot.
Yeah.
So there's a lovely scene, I think, with Frank and...
it's Frank and Trish.
Trish,
Must
yeah.
be, yeah.
Look! What was at the bottom?
That was the bottom of the fucking
Oh
track.
shit! Yeah, it was. This has got to be a piss tape. It's got to be.
That was a
bottom of rewrite, please. It's got to be.
That's the track.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's the track.
This has gone through several eyes. It must
lot
have
of
been
eyes.
because there's an editor, there's a director, there's a cameraman. I'm sure the actors had a screening, I would have imagined.
I bet a vicar saw it as well.
And we picked this up having already sat through
Yeah.
Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've mentioned that in too much detail the fact that time is so it starts at 36 hours.
Yeah.
And about it's like every scene
Every 2 hours
every
it
scene
moves on?
change. Every time we cut to new people,
The new story.
or the next bit of the next story, it drops by an hour. What they also put up on the screen when they're putting down the countdown till Doomsday is they put down their locations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Now, everyone's on their way to Chichen Itza.
Yeah.
Obviously. They had a choice, with the exception really of San Diego, they had a choice of where they named in Mexico. So... when
really
they're
gone into this
when,
one.
I have. So, when they decide that they need to drive from San Diego to Chichen Itza, so that's Susan and her mum.
Yeah,
it's quite a journey.
Right? There's, I think at that point, there's about 18 hours, maybe 17, maybe 16. According to Google Maps, right, to drive from San Diego to Chichen Itza in a car, 48 hours. Right, but that one, I'll give them that one because they based her in California, and you know, they sort of let's just overlook that one because she'd started in America. I know it doesn't
You're being very fair.
I am being very fair, but we'll give them that because you kind of think, okay, well,
You're close enough.
14 hours to go. Sarah and Alex, they're in Veracruz. At that point, they're walking.
Yes.
Yeah. 14 hours to go. Veracruz to Chichen Itza, 15-hour drive.
Actually, I would say they're probably not walking.
No, they were walking. They walked from the village to find the pregnant woman.
Oh yes.
So
they
at
did
the
do
point
that,
where at the point where it comes up and says where they are, they're walking along a road.
Yeah, fine. Oh, yeah.
So that's 14 hours to go, 15-hour drive.
They could do that.
Yeah, but then
if they put their foot down,
Google's not always
put their foot down.
No piss
that's
breaks.
Fine. The same people, Sarah and
Alex, and now we're pregnant lady. I'm guessing. Yeah.
She gets out the car to make a phone call to her dad. She makes that call from a place called Leon. Leon to Chichen Itza. This is with 12 hours to go. 21-hour drive. So they've gone 6 hours in the wrong direction. They then And they sort of kind of correct it at this point.
Okay.
With 10 hours to go, so
Yeah.
2 hours after 2 hours after they were 21 hours away.
Yeah.
They are now in Villahermosa, and Villahermosa to Chichen Itza, with 10 hours to go, 9-hour drive.
Wow, they've made good.
So they've made good time.
Great time.
But
Not bad.
So it's not even that they're so out with all of their things. It's the fact that they've chosen these places.
There was nothing to give away where they
Nope.
actually were.
It's like it didn't
At
matter.
All someone had to do was bring up a map. This was made in 2008, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Pretty sure Google Maps was a thing at that point.
If it was so important to put the names up,
that's what I don't
get.
Then
why not leave the names off?
Just don't put the names on it.
Yeah.
Because then if you do,
or
you
to
get
put somewhere in
knobs
Mexico.
like me. Yeah. who read it and just go, I wonder how far that is.
I was going to say, you have done more research on this film than I think the director writer has.
It was the San Diego to Chichen Itza thing that got me, because I was like, I've been to Mexico, I've been to Cancun,
Yeah.
and there was a day trip that you could go on to get to Chichen Itza.
Yeah, I've
and
done
it was,
it.
but it was
like
about a
4
4-hour
hour
drive
from
so like an
Cancun.
8-hour round trip from Cancun.
Yeah.
And I just thought, but Cancun's near.
It's near it. It's
Yeah,
relatively
that was
in
what I
terms of you
thought.
look on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually
That was
fairly
what
close.
got me thinking.
But
and then
it
I
is
thought,
a 4-hour drive.
Cancun is on the same side as Florida.
Yeah.
And California is
It's
not.
a hot skip and a jump from Cuba. Yeah.
This movie is so badly put together.
when you combine all those things, it makes perfect sense why that track is in there, and they make
Yeah.
a ridiculous journey from San Diego to Chichen Itza.
So, Christopher, what do you give 2012 Doomsday? Now, remember, we are doing this on the enjoyment that we received from watching it.
Oh, I think I'm going to be fair and give it 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It is an enjoyable bad film.
I'm going to give it 3.5.
Ooh.
I think there was so much happening and going on, and weird conversations that didn't make sense, and leaps of logic that just didn't make sense, that made it even more hilarious to me.
I think I still enjoy Extinction more.
See, I would much rather watch this again over Extinction.
So I'm going the other way on this.
Oh,
I'm only giving this one.
Only one?
Only one. This, to me, it was not enjoyably bad. It was irritatingly bad.
Oh, really?
Like, it wasn't the kind of bad that made me kind of go like, oh, this is so terrible.
Yeah.
It was the kind of bad that just made me go, I fucking hate this. Like, I genuinely, I can't believe that you're making us watch this because it's so awful. But like the thing with Extinction was that there was no message in Extinction at all. There was no message whatsoever, and therefore
not much of a script.
No, but because there was no message being delivered in a really bad way,
yeah,
I was free to just enjoy
how bad it was
as a movie. There's a reasonably strong performance. 7 out of 15 is almost
7 out of 15.
Almost half marks
is what 2012 Doomsday gets. If you enjoyed this, please do give it a like. Please do subscribe. It convinces us to keep doing these things. If you've seen this film and you didn't enjoy it, or you did enjoy it, let us know in the comments. Also, give us suggestions as well if there's any films that you think we should give a try. I do have a whole batch, but I'm very open to hearing what you think we should go and watch.
Give us some doozies. And if you do watch this and find anything else that was just ridiculous that we haven't picked up on, tell us.
Bye.
Did you tell everyone? Sorry, I was engrossed in faithfilms.cc. Did you tell everyone to like, subscribe, and click on the little bell so they get their notifications?
The old man hearing.
That's right. He's just done it again for us.
Cool.